Good evening, and welcome to Twin Talk. My name is Blake Rydell.
And my name is Jonathan Rydell. And today we're going to be talking about the separation of church and state.
So as Christians, we've always heard about the separation of church and state. Although most people mistake this for a principle found in the Constitution, it was actually originated in the Jeffersonian letters written detailing Jefferson's vision for America.
Yeah, and regardless, for all of our lives, we've understood the fact that church and state are separate. Although this comes with clear negatives for believers, such as the removal of God and prayer from schools, it also comes with some benefits. The main benefit is that churches have been free to practice religion as they see fit, with no affiliation to anyone other than the God that they desire to serve.
We also see other benefits, such as the creation of nonprofit organizations and the ability to have private Christian schools and religious ceremonies. In recent weeks, we have seen just how important that separation of church and state still is, as we see that the principle is not practiced in most of the decimated countries of the world. Just think of Afghanistan. Do you see the separation of church and state happening there? I don't think so. And as a result, we see the continued oppression and deterioration of religious minorities happening daily.
And yet we see a continuing shift happening in countries and institutions all over the world, including here in the United States. We're starting to see a shift in religious institutions becoming co-joined with certain political movements and vice versa. This is not inherently bad, but we do see the lines becoming more and more blurred as we move into this weird post-Christian values era.
Very weird. For example, just last week, Southeastern University, a Christian university, and our alma mater decided to dedicate their new Hispanic Leadership Center in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. Among those who spoke was Adolfo Carrion Jr., a former Democrat New York City councilman and President Obama's Director of Urban Affairs. His job while working with Obama? Advancing Obama's urban policies in urban areas. What was Obama's policies? Supporting women's right to abortion, redistribution of wealth, legalizing gay marriage, and many other liberal things. Crazy how a quote-unquote Christian university can have a guest speaker dedicating a brand new center to God. Was this really the best representative to invite to speak at the university?
Probably not their best choice. But with that being said, the continuation of COVID restrictions and lockdowns has exacerbated the shift that we're speaking of. In fact, during challenging times in the beginning of the pandemic, many Christians were not allowed to gather in their church or allowed to even gather with their church families. Think about that.
Yeah. And for months and months, religious ceremonies stopped, church gatherings dissipated, and religious meetings were banned, sometimes going as far as restricting private small groups from meeting in their own houses. This obviously had a negative effect on our spiritual health during the time, but I argue that it's had an even more detrimental effect on the church and its intertwining with the government and pop culture.
And I think what we mean by this is, well, in simple terms, this is the dumbing down of Christianity, focused on safety and comfort instead of Jesus' words and actions themselves. It might be hard for you to believe this as an American Christian, but Christianity is not exactly about comfort.
No.
I mean, just think about all the people that gave themselves up after Christ died. Christianity is supposed to be radical, self-giving, sacrificial, and strangely enough, burdensome at times. Christianity is supposed to be the countercultural, doing opposite things compared to what the rest of the world is doing. While the world follows their pleasure, Christians are supposed to be following the footsteps of their God.
And I know I'm a hypocrite in this manner. No one likes a decaf vanilla iced coffee listening to worship music in the pews more than I do. It's my guilty pleasure.
I really do.
But the problem is, for even most Christians, this is where it stops. One day a week on Sunday morning. Christians are supposed to be thoughtful about God's commands, laws, and stories. We're supposed to reflect on them and on Him and how truly good He is to us in our times of need. And we are supposed to call on Him to provide for us, while also balancing the weight and hardship of following Christian commands. We aren't supposed to agree with everyone. In fact, we're supposed to be a small minority, but a powerful minority, with a voice that helps us reach out to the society and show them the value in becoming a Christian. We are supposed to show them that our lifestyle is better, healthier, and holier.
Yet, Christian life is becoming more and more liberal and political. Although politics can sometimes be good, Christians are shifting in their worship from God through the worship of music. They're turning from the worship of God through politics. They're making really politicians gods, if we're being honest. And we worship politics and their civic service to the worship service. And that is because you can see the effects of our government skewing our values. Think about it. Gay marriage is illegal now and encouraged, honestly. And abortion is legal and encouraged. Forced redistribution of wealth is now encouraged and is basically a fact of life with the government. Instead of God being the standard, government is now.
And still, the majority of the church does nothing to change it. History will remember that. I'm Blake Rydell.
I'm Jonathan Rydell.
And thank you for watching this episode of Twin Talk. Make sure that you hit the like button and the subscribe button so that you keep seeing our latest videos.
See you guys.